full review of Superman Last Son trade paperback by the creative team of Geoff Johns, Richard Donner, and Adam Kubert doing pencils and inks.
Richard Donner.
And Dave Stewart, Edgar Delgado on colors. Robert Lay was their letterer. And I remember when it was announced back, this is 2000, I'm going to say 2002. Let's see. This originally came out in 2006. So I was close. I remember when the big news dropped that Adam and Andy Kubert were going to DC Comics. Andy doing Batman and Adam doing Superman. Out of the two characters, I lean towards Superman. I bought all the stuff those guys did. I thought this book, when it first came out, I got the singles. I've got the trade. I've got the hardcover deluxe edition back there. Dennis, what is Superman Last Son all about?
Well, Andy, this one was another one. He goes, have you read this? And I was
I knew it was a big no.
Well, I used to own a fair number of DC. I've gotten rid of the bulk of my DC comics over the years. But this one was interesting, kind of like Red Sun, another really good book. But in this one, Superman winds up finding a Kryptonian child. Well, what does he do with it? He decides to protect this child from government forces. The government's going to turn around and do what he decides. He almost has like parental instincts. And this story delves into Superman's moral dilemmas regarding both the child as a child, another surviving member of his now lost home planet, and this child because he's going to have the same abilities as Superman, he could be turned into a weapon, which isn't a good thing. So what is he to do? Well, it winds up, we get reintroduced to some of my favorite characters, General Zod, Ursa, and Nan. And it's a completely different take that these creators did on it. And I'll let you talk about the fresh take on the creators.
Yeah, I mean, one thing Adam did when Andy Kubert draws a book, and I love both those guys. I love their work, their storytelling chops. Obviously, having Joe Kubert as a father definitely helps. But when Andy draws a book, he pretty much it has the same feel to it, and a lot of artists are like that. So I guess the easier way to say it is when John Byrne draws a book or drew a book, his Alpha Flight looked like Fantastic Four, looked like whatever was after that, so on and so forth. Adam will change up his style more depending on the book. So for Superman Last Son, even though this cover has Superman in really deep shadow, on the inside of the book, everything is very open. He didn't spot a lot of solid black areas and shadows inside the book. And I think part of it's because it's Superman. And when I think of a Superman book, I think of Metropolis. I think of, gleaming golden buildings and sunny skies and stuff. So draw Superman that way. The other thing too is, since this came out around the time of the Superman Returns movie, he actually gave Clark Kent that mop of hair that was parted and like covered most of his forehead and stuff, kind of like in Superman Returns. But then when he became Superman, you see his whole forehead because of the spit curl and whatnot. Plus, Adam likes to play with materials. So you've got panels in here that are just shot from pencil. You've got panels in here that he used a toned paper and then just did pencil and then used some white colored pencil to pull out highlights and stuff. And then once again, the storytelling Adam does is always good. He nails the right beats of when you want to have that big expansive shot. There's some 2-page spreads in here of Metropolis where I'm just like, the buildings aren't your standard like grid window buildings. Each building has like their own distinct architecture. And I just thought art-wise, I was blown away. And then story-wise, like Dennis was saying, the story does have a heart to it because he wants to save this kid from basically this military that wants to try and use him. And then, and this book is 20 some years old, some spoilers, you find out where the kid actually came from, which was, if I remember right, the Phantom Zone with Zod and Ursula and Nan and other people. Like, not only do those three escape the Phantom Zone, almost all the prisoners escape the Phantom Zone. So you get cameos of other DC heroes in here towards the end fighting all these guys and stuff. I thought it was a great 6-issue series. And unfortunately, after this, Adam, besides a couple variant covers, Adam went right back to Marvel, and we never got to see more DC stuff, which I think is a shame. Because he did do a Batman variant for one of Andy's Batmans, and his Batman was just cool. So,
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good story all the way across. You get introduced, who the villains are, and I thought it wasn't just. I thought the storytelling was great because I love reading the stories. The art is fantastic. The only complaint that I had, and it was on the art side, it was the design of Zod and Ursa, and I was not a big fan of the way he redesigned them. Some people love it, some people don't, but that's art. And I was like, because I told Annie, I was like, that's my biggest criticism. And if that's my biggest criticism, that's a solid book.
Yeah, and I can kind of see your point behind that. I mean, I guess I wasn't expecting him to go, all right, let me draw him in the same outfits from the Superman movie, because Richard Donner was a part of this story. It is Superman Last Son. This is the trade paperback. You can get it. If you don't care about the deluxe edition, you can get the first edition trade pretty cheap, probably on Amazon or eBay or something. But they did do a hardcover. They did a hardcover, which I got a little bit bigger. And then I think they just did like a 20th anniversary edition, which also collects the next story by Geoff Johns, which is Eric Powell on art, known for The Goon, and one bigger hardcover. So getting back to the designs, I can see why. I mean, they're wearing, like I said, I'll just show the spread real quick where they show up, because it's not like it's a big spoiler or anything.
And like I said, some people are going to love it. It was the one thing, it just kind of, it took me out. And it might be because, how Zod was always like portrayed, how he was shown, seeing him in the movies, things like that.
Dennis told me, actually, he goes, I can't see Ursula's titties. And I was like, Dennis, it's not all about that. But you can see what they're wearing. They're wearing baggier type clothes, almost like trench coats.
The glasses, goggles. It just wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, I love how big, though, he drew Nan. I mean, the dude's almost like the Hulk. So I thought that was really cool. This is obviously the first appearance of him in it. But like I said, I can see Dennis's point. Somebody in the chat, too, said something about Zipatone. Now, there's no Zipatone in it that I saw, but there's stuff like this, which Adam does so well. And once again, this is something his dad did. Joe Kubert did a lot with toned paper and pencil rendering and stuff. So this is just one. This is because I've got shut up, Rich. Because, hey, Rich, I better see a comment in there about today. This is one. I've got the singles. I got the trade, which this sits right on my bookshelf next to my desk. The Kubert brothers are great for storytelling inspiration. And I got the nice hardcover back there. So I would say the pull quote on the front is an entertaining read that's hard to put down. Grade A variety, from Variety, that is. So it's your turn to go first on the grading scale.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I thought the story was just really good. I liked everything about it. I gave it back to Andy, and I went, "This is cool. This is really good." I don't remember the story when I probably read it the first time as well. So it was a good refresher. I'm giving it an 8.0. It was solid. I'm glad I read it. And it would be something, if I was bored, I would just pick up and reread.
Yeah. I'm giving it an 8.5. One of the things Adam did, which I thought was super freaking cool, and I'm sure, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm sure because I never saw the script, but knowing Adam and watching his career, I wouldn't be surprised if he made these decisions. So like the book opens up with a shot of the fortress and then some quick cuts, close-ups, and then boom, you go to a big 2-page spread with Superman talking to his dad. And that's really cool. In the second issue, the first page has kind of the same layout with the 4 panels. Boom. Big 2-page spread with Superman and the boy. The third issue has something like that. So he kind of carries that theme all the way through. There's actually some heart-touching moments with Mon-El, who was stuck in the Phantom Zone. And when you find out why, you're kind of like, oh, man.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So, and then Andy Kubert contributed one of the variant covers. This is why I like trades, because I actually don't own that actual issue. Now I want to get it, though. So there you go. Another good read. I did go to the Kubert school. So I did have Joe as a teacher. Luckily, for 2 years, I had him. It was shortly after I graduated. He dropped down to teaching just 1 year at the school, but I had him for 2. And Joe was he was such a great guy. Every time I'd see him at a show afterwards, he'd always remember who I was, shake hands. I mean, just fantastic. So,
which is great, since Andy doesn't remember half the people anyway with his bad memory.
Whatever, Don. Let's see. It really felt like I was watching an offshoot of the Horrible. It did. It really did. That was the thing, dude. You're so right. It really does have a movie quality feel to it, and It is so much better than Superman Returns. So
it is way better.
Blow that movie and read this. We're going to try and do more book reviews like this as well, because they're just fun. What do we got here? Awesome. Was it expensive? Oh, this book? Well, I mean, if you get it brand new, this is $12.99, but this came out like 10, 15 years ago.
I think you meant the Kubert School.
Oh, the Kubert School. Well, I mean, I graduated the Kubert School 34 years ago. I initially attended in 88, so 37 years ago. And when I went, the tuition was about $8,500 a year.
And with inflation now, that's $1 million.
Actually, I can tell you, the last I checked, it's about double. I want to say it's around 17 to 18 grand a year for the Kubert School now. So there you go. Yeah, whatever.
I mean, you obviously, as proof, you don't need a super high IQ to go to the Kubert School. There's your prime example.
Do I remember right? Is it the son from the movie and the book? Nope. He's not. Just nothing about that Superman Returns movie is this.
So he's saying you're wrong, Joe. That means just like your 49ers, you got concussed in the head and you're remembering things incorrectly.
As always. As always. And because it's not really a spoiler, I showed the 2-page spread from the beginning of the book where Superman is looking up at his dad, talking to him, and it ends with a great mirror type layout where now we're shooting the camera from behind Jor-El hologram down onto a nice shot of Superman with the other 5 panels going down the side. Just great stuff. I even asked Adam back then what pen he was inking with, because like I said, there is not a lot of solid black anywhere in this book. He kept it really light and open for the story. So there you go. And tomorrow night we're seeing a movie. What are we seeing? Right.
Oh, did you guys know there's a new Predator movie out? What? Yes.
No.
So we're looking forward to that. Badlands. I am going to be curious. The trailer gives it some promising hope. But we thought that about 65 or 65 million, whatever the name of that movie. It looked great. Then we went and saw the movie. So I'm hoping there's not a repeat of that. But definitely we'll keep an open mind and hope we get a good Predator movie out of this.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned too, because obviously it doesn't take place on Earth. It takes place, and it looks like there's this younger teenage type Predator. They even tried to do it with like his dreadlocks and stuff, who's basically on his first hunt or some crap, and he has to survive it. And there's this android type chick that only has half of a body, basically a torso and stuff he carries around. So you get somebody actually talking in the movie. It's a light week for stuff coming out. I do like Predator. Fingers crossed. But guys, tomorrow night when it's over, we'll review it from inside the car.
That's right. Fresh thoughts.
And we're the only guys you need to go to for movie reviews. And guys, if you ever wondered what would happen if Kordrath and Adriana took on somebody like, not even a person, but like a creature, like the Shanu, what would happen if Kordrath and Adriana took on the Shanu? Well, I'm going to show you in 6 seconds how Kordrath and Adriana would handle Graham Nolan's Shanu. Kordrath didn't even break a sweat.
That's because Adriana did all the work.
Adriana didn't even break a sweat. She was like, I got that. If there was dialogue here, I'm playing it again. This is the dialogue. Okay. I mean, look, I couldn't even get all the dialogue. I mean, there you go. That is what would happen. That's right, guys. Get the Billy Tucci cover for Lilith Infernal Conflict, only available on Kickstarter. Once again, if you backed it on Indiegogo, we emailed you a secret link so you can go get this cover for the low shipping cost of $1 in the United States, $2 the rest of the world, because we'll just throw it in your box. We'll place it gently in your box with your order from Indiegogo. If you haven't backed the book yet at all, go check it out. This is a Lilith tale. It's a prequel. You do not need to have read the other Kordrath books to get this story. It is a standalone featuring Lilith and how she became the badass succubus bitch that she is. She's hot. She's sexy. She's a femme fatale. So guys, go check that out. The link is in the description below. And I am modeling, Dennis and I each got a, I guess you could say, prototype of the Lilith t-shirt that you can get on this campaign. Mine, of course, has sleeves because I'm not a freaking heathen. And then Dennis, of course, had his wife amputate the sleeves on that gorgeous Lilith shirt. So go get that as well. Happy birthday, Andy. Why, thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate that.
No, he doesn't read the other stuff because it's way too difficult to pronounce.
I didn't see a happy birthday.
I
didn't see a happy birthday from Rich.
Yeah, you did.
He
wished me an early happy birthday. That's why we love Rich.
Whatever. Guys, we will be back next week. We have a guest on the show next week, which we'll announce later. It is, I think, we're going to be launching somebody's campaign. He asked if he could launch it on our channel. And I'm like, okay.
Stay tuned.
So stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for Predator Badlands movie review coming at you tomorrow night.
That's right.
Until then, bye-bye. Go watch Graybeards.
Yeah, Graybeards coming up.
And back Lilith.
Purple characters is the theme.
Oh, if it was blue, you could just draw any guy walking out of a strip club, if you know what I mean. Blue ball.